Hi everyone, this is Dr. Mike, host of the free iTunes podcast, Psychiatric Secrets Revealed with Dr. Mike, but that's not why I'm here today. This is another Saving Savvy episode, this time looking at the Kyocera Zeo smartphone. I think it's marketed by Sanyo, and this is on the Cricket network, and I'm going to talk about both the network and the phone because I think those two things go pretty much hand in hand. Now I'll tell you that I've had the broadband Cricket's stuff for about a year, and I've liked it very much. And so when my contract ran out, I thought it might be good to look at this phone for a number of reasons. So let's take a look at the phone, and then we'll take a look at the network. First of all, you notice that it's very slim, it's very lightweight, feels comfortable in your hand. It's pretty much all plastic, but it doesn't really look cheap or anything. This is running Android 1.6. Let me flip this over here. And it's just the standard Android sort of interface. So you don't have a fancy shell over it, but that's just fine. It works great. And I've loaded a number of applications on this phone without any difficulty. Applications tend to run quickly and without any problems, so I think it has enough horsepower in the phone itself. It has a 600 megahertz processor, and it's probably going to get upgraded to Android 2.1 in the near future. Don't expect flash on this phone, however. I don't think the processor is fast enough. It does have a micro SD card slot, and it comes with a 1 gigabyte card, which can be upgraded to up to 32 gigabytes. You're going to need that card because there's not a lot of internal memory on this phone. It also has a standard kind of headphone jack, so you can plug in your regular headphones into it without any problems. And it uses a micro USB port for charging and also connecting to your computer. It comes with a cable, a USB cable, and a USB charger. So you have pretty much everything that you need to start out with. As far as the screen, it's beautiful. It's a WVGA screen, quite nice. It also has a 3.2 megapixel camera on the back, which does VGA video in addition. Camera looks like a cell phone picture to me. I don't think any cell phones really take great pictures, but they're really nice to have when you need them in a pinch. And I've used my cell phone cameras many times, not so much for a photo contest, but just because I needed a picture of something, and I was very happy to have it. It has GPS built in, and the GPS I think is pretty fast and accurate. It also has a built-in accelerometer, but it does take a little time, like maybe a second or two when you turn the phone for the accelerometer to register. Did I have any problems with this phone? Well, I've had a couple, nothing too dramatic. I've had a few lockups. There's no reset button on here, and I had to take out the battery. No big deal. And some programs just don't seem to run. So the gallery program, which is an Android program, just does not want to run on this particular phone, or at least on my phone. And I've also had some delays with the camera operation where at times it will say preparing SD card. You have to wait a minute or two before it locks in. Other times it works just fine. But overall, I think the phone has operated very well. What about phone or sound quality? I think it kind of depends on the time of day, and that involves the network. So in a low volume time of day, the sound quality is really quite excellent. If it's a higher volume, it gets slightly woolly, and I think that's because Cricket is narrowing the bandwidth of their calls to force more calls through their towers at any given time. Less bandwidth means a woolier call. What about the network? Well, it can be a little bit confusing. Cricket has its own cell centers. So for instance, Chicago, where I live, that's a Cricket region. They also have partner sites. They've partnered extensively with Sprint, and so for instance, Minneapolis is a partner site. They say on their website that you may expect less service or less signal when you're in a partner site. I can't say for sure. But there's also a lot of roaming sites. So for instance, if I traveled from Chicago to Minneapolis, I'd have to go through Wisconsin, and much of Wisconsin is a roaming site. When it comes to roaming, you have to set this up beforehand, and you also have to have money or funds in various accounts, and it's going to cost you, depending on the account, anywhere from 25 to 20 cents a minute in a roaming area. So at 25 cents, an hour call would cost you $15. So be aware of it. If you travel a lot, this might not be the plan for you. Well, what about customer service, technical support? The East Indian telephone customer support I found was pretty bad. People were friendly, but they often couldn't solve problems. They often gave information that was completely contrary to what you can find on the website. So not so good. I had much better customer support when I went into the stores, and there the people seemed pretty knowledgeable, friendly, and helpful. Well, let me tell you about my experience with this phone. I'm going to read this off to you, so I'm going to be looking down. I'm sorry about that. But so anyway, so we go back to a Monday, and that's when I wanted to activate my phone on a Monday. So on Monday, I can't activate the phone just by going through the prompts, and I get connected to customer service. And I had to go through 2 levels of customer service, getting a lot of erroneous information, and neither level 1 or level 2 could activate my phone. And I actually had to go up to the store the next day to get it activated. So on Tuesday, I went to my local store. They activated the phone within 5 minutes. On Thursday, I discovered that my phone won't roam despite the fact that I had Flex Bucket money in my account, and it should roam, but it just didn't. So on Friday, when I got back from a trip, I called customer service. Here I talked to someone again, overseas site, and they said that I had to have a $5 additional monthly charge to roam, in addition to Flex Bucket amounts, and they arranged that for me. I don't know if that's true or not. It seems contrary to what's on the website, but my phone then was able to roam. On Saturday, and this is important, I discovered that a number of my calls would not ring the phone and would go directly into voicemail instead. This was despite the fact that the phone was on and I did have signal bars. So I spent Sunday and Monday on the internet looking at everything, checking stuff out, actually did a hard reset on the phone and really couldn't resolve the problem. On Tuesday, I contacted one of the stores in my local area. They were able to log into my account, and they said there were some errors on my in my account, and I was connected to the wrong cell service or something, and that should correct the problem. So they did do that. On Wednesday, I checked the phone, and again, I had problems where it went directly into voicemail. Now, I will say that the corrections that the guy at the store made did improve the problem. But still, every day, at least when it's at my house, I will get, I can call my phone from another phone, and it won't ring, and it will go into voicemail. So I think that's a pretty significant problem, especially when you consider that sometimes it takes up to 20 minutes for the voicemail to register on the phone. So would I recommend this phone? Only conditionally based on the current level of service. It has some great pluses. First of all, there's no contract. The monthly fee is very low. The phone is really very nice. And in fact, if you are new to smartphones, you'll be blown away by this phone, how incredibly cool it is and how great it works. And the service, when it is working, is decent. The calls sound just about the same as they did on AT&T. And in fact, my web browsing is actually faster than it was on AT&T. What are the minuses? Well, the crazy complicated amount of time it took for me to get this phone to work, the roaming charges that can add up, the possible overburdened network, the lags with voicemail, and the fact that it doesn't always ring even when I have bars. And so that could be a very serious problem that you might want to look at before considering to go with this phone. If you want a cheaper plan and you don't want to go with Cricket, you might want to consider some other options. That includes a pay-as-you-go phone or some of the lower cost contract deals that are out there. So am I going to keep my phone? Well, I use this as my pager, so it's not reliable enough for me to keep, so it's going to have to go, and I'm going to have to go with the contract phone. If your needs are a little less stringent, you may do fine with this phone. Thanks so much, and please give my podcast a listen.